say the letter and then the sound, okay? How we did yesterday. I want to see everyone's eyes up here trying their very best, not giving up, okay? Yes, you can. Okay, here we go. J. What is it? Good job.
That's my name.
That's my name too.
What's on this payment, Riley? Good job. Okay. Good job.
That's in my name.
Good job.
That's in my first. Family.
Good job. You guys did good, and all of your eyes were up here watching. That's going to help you know the letters, huh?
Are you looking at me?
So you were all paying attention. Are you guys ready to sing? Yes? Okay, stand up. Hey, are you ready? It's not today, only Friday, remember? Hey, here we go.
Alley, bug, patina, cat, Dee, deer, and elephant, fancy fish and gordo too. They all live at the zoo. Mommy was and guinea, jellyfish and kangaroo, Lizzie, Missy, Nigel too. They all live at the zoo. All the octopus is sweet, Peely penguin stretches his feet, Queenie cloud her babies too. They all live at the zoo. Robbie rabbit's in the stew, Sammy snake and Timmy too. Humber, Vincent, what a crew. They all live at the zoo. Willie Weasel, Saber Fox, Nancy Yak just talks and talks. Zeke the zebra, welcome to come meet us at the zoo. Zeke the zebra, welcome to come meet us at the zoo.
Oh, you guys did good. And guess what tomorrow is? Friday, so you get to do what?
Fast one.
You get to do the fast symphonic song, huh? That will be fun. Okay.
It will be so fast.
It will be
Miss
fast. It will
Dowdy.
be fun.
Are we
Yes.
going to read the whole school?
Can you just shoe tie? Okay. Just a minute. Miss Nelson will help you tie it. Okay. You remember this book? Remember this one?
Yeah.
Okay, our story today is out of this book. What is in this book? Are there pictures in this book? There's no pictures. pictures. There's words. So we make the pictures where? In our minds. We use our imaginations to make the pictures for these stories. Cause
I don't have imagination.
you do have an imagination, Riley. I've seen it. I've seen your imagination.
I can make one.
Okay.
I know,
Yep.
right?
So when we're reading stories out of this book, we sit down and we think in our head, ooh, I wonder what that looks like. I wonder what the setting's like where the story takes place. I wonder what the character looks like. What's the character?
Gingerbread.
Okay, it's the person or thing that the story's about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the story we're reading today, it's a fable. Do you know what a fable is?
No.
Okay. Well, fables are stories that people tell to teach someone a lesson. Okay, so they want you to learn something
I know.
by hearing this story.
Swimming lessons.
Yep.
I
Like
need
swimming
it.
lessons.
Me too.
Okay.
Like reading books.
So when we're reading this story, we're going to be using our imagination to picture what the people or animals look like in the story. And we're going to be thinking about, I wonder, yes, I wonder what I'm supposed to learn from this lesson. Okay, really quick, okay. Okay, this story is called The City Mouse and the Country Mouse. What's a city?
A big city. And you see a lot of buildings.
Okay, what?
Like a city is where people are.
Okay, there's a lot of
Like
people
there's
there.
a lot
There's a
of
lot of
people and a
buildings.
lot of buildings.
Yes, Stanley?
And if, when you go there, you could go on a canoe. And did you know there's houses on water?
There is houses on water in some cities, huh? You're right. Yes, Sienna.
That means except if there's a lot of people because they have a big city because there's a bunch of people over there.
Yeah.
And then there's
Okay, so a city is where there's a lot of people that live in the same place, huh? Yes, Bristol.
The city is where there's lots and lots and lots of buildings.
Yes, there's
And
lots of
there's like
buildings.
hotels and canoes and then saw like there's houses of water. And,
Yes.
and there's like dogs and
Lots of
roads
everything.
and shops and there's lots of
What do you think is the biggest city in New Mexico, in our state?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. How many of you have been to Albuquerque before?
Me.
Are there more cars in Albuquerque on the road than there are in Kirtland?
Yes.
Are there more stores?
There's a more swimming park.
Okay, everyone sit down.
Is there more
Okay.
swimming park? I want to go to Albuquerque to meet my grandma and papa that lives in Oklahoma.
So all of us have been to Albuquerque, right?
I go at Albuquerque.
Okay, I'm looking for who's sitting quietly. We're going to share 2 stories about Albuquerque, and then we got to read our story, okay? Dallin has a story about Albuquerque. Thanks for sitting nicely, Dallin.
I went there 100 times.
You went there 100 times? Okay.
It was far away.
It is. Okay, Clay, what's your story about Albuquerque?
I went to Albuquerque all the time.
You go there all the time? Okay, so Albuquerque's a city. What is a country? If you live in the country.
Mrs. Barber? I mean, Mrs. Dowdy, I get confused.
That's okay.
When you're in Albuquerque, I bet you could see the zoo and you could go there and see the monkeys and
I know.
the giraffes.
They have a fun
I've
zoo.
seen
So what about if you live in the country?
Teacher, I have to ride on the animals.
Yes.
And
Okay, how many of you live in like water flow? Live in water flow? How many of you live in water flow have a bunch of land around you and not a lot of neighbors?
I did go
You
at
went to
one
one?
of them.
Yes.
I did at one job, but they
I have one
I
neighbor.
Okay. Okay. So if you live in the country, okay, boys and girls, listen. If you live in the country, okay, Riley, Kyla. So if you live in the country, they're still neighbors, but they're not really close like in the city. Okay. Okay? And there's more land than there is houses and buildings, right? Okay. Okay. Riley. Okay, let's talk about our vocabulary words. If you had a feast and you feasted, raise your hand if you know what feasted would be. What would that mean? Ariel.
Feast means, I don't know what it is.
You're not sure? Karime.
It's where people celebrate.
Okay. And if they have a feast, what do you think they're talking about when they say feast, Siona?
We're talking about something and like they talk about everything.
Okay, so what about if you and your family got together and had a Thanksgiving feast, what would that be, Bristol?
Like it would be where you would go sit down at a table and go eat some turkey or salads or
Okay, so you sit down at a table because you're going to do what? Eat. Are you going to eat a little bit at a feast or a lot at a feast?
A lot.
A lot. So if you feasted on something, that means you ate a lot. Do you have something to say about feast, or do you have a story? Oh, feast is food. Good job.
Like I just eat a lot of food.
Yes. Okay, let's.
This is Daddy.
Yes,
When you
Daddy.
go to a feast, I think it's when you get a wedding. No.
They would probably have a feast at weddings where you eat a lot of food, huh? So the feast is the
I had
food.
my mom at a table and eat a lot of food with my family.
Yes.
Yesterday
Okay.
I eat at my grandma's.
You did.
Yeah,
Good.
I eat
Okay,
a
let's. We have another word. I want to see if you know what this word means, Riley. Lincoln, can you turn around, please? Okay. I haven't said the word yet, Siarna. Are you just so excited? Okay. Okay, if you know what this word means, raise your hand. If you are ashamed. Ashamed.
What's ashamed?
Let's see if Kyla can tell us. What's ashamed, Kyla?
When you get in trouble.
Okay. You could be ashamed when you get in trouble, but let's think of another word that might mean more like ashamed. Liam. What would ashamed mean? Okay. Let's see. Noah.
Being naughty.
Okay. So if you're being naughty and people see you, and then let's say you're out on recess, okay, and you weren't thinking of what the rules were, and you started jumping off the slides and doing stuff like that, and the teacher says, Abraham, you should not be doing that. You're not supposed to jump off the slides. That's against the rules. And all of your friends are there, and they're looking at you like, oh, Abraham didn't follow the rules.
I did sit down in the bottom
Yes.
on this side.
Would you feel embarrassed, Abraham? Like, oh, all these kids just saw me get in trouble.
I know.
You wouldn't? Is there something you would feel embarrassed about?
I know the rules.
I know you know the rules and you follow the rules. I'm just saying, have you ever been embarrassed before?
Me.
Have you been embarrassed, Stanley? Why?
Yeah.
What happened? Do you want to tell us? Okay.
Because one time I was at school and I threw up at school. My grandma had to come get me and I wanted to work.
Yeah. And did people see you when you threw up?
No.
No, but you were still embarrassed that you got sick at school. So sometimes, so ashamed is like feeling embarrassed. Like, oh, I don't want anyone to know I did that. I'm embarrassed. Okay? Okay, Karime.
Okay,
Just a second.
what's at school? I felt embarrassed.
Okay.
I forgot.
Because you forgot. Okay, if you felt embarrassed before, let's just raise our hand and then we'll go on to our next word. I've been embarrassed before.
I've been embarrassed. When
Yeah.
have you been
So
embarrassed?
embarrassed is the
I've
same
been
as ashamed.
embarrassed.
Lots
I
of
can
times.
tell us.
One time I got in.
When I was at my other school,
Mm-hmm.
I got embarrassed about, like, I just got sick. I was embarrassed, and somebody is looking at me.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll tell you. One time I got embarrassed or ashamed because embarrassed is the same as ashamed. Okay, just a minute.
I got embarrassed because I lost my mom's ring at my old house.
Oh, dang it. One time I was going to this meeting in a building and there was all these people and I was in high school and I walked up these stairs to see if there were seats and there weren't any seats up the stairs, so I went to walk down
Was it
and
the
I had
Silver
heels
City?
on.
I mean, the Twin Towers?
No, it wasn't the Twin Towers. And I had heels on and I fell all down the stairs and there were all these people like this.
Oh.
It was embarrassing. I felt ashamed that I did that.
Said,
Okay.
if you punch them in the face, I said no. And there's a bear.
Okay, let's move on to our next word. Raise your hand if you think you know what cautiously means. Let's see. Let's see who hasn't answered yet.
I see a
Oh,
picture.
yeah. Shh, sit down. Brooklyn, do you know what it is to be cautiously? What about cautious? If you're being cautious about something. Ariel, do you know? You do? Can you think of it?
What you said.
You didn't know what I said. Julia, do you know what it means to be cautious? No? Okay, what if, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, it snowed, we're going to say it snowed during the night, and we're coming to school, and we said be cautious when you walk up the ramp so you don't slip and fall. Be what, Julia? Be careful.
So you won't
Okay?
slip and hurt your neck.
So you won't slip and hurt yourself. So that's what cautious says.
Hurt yourself and you won't. It means a lot.
Okay.
And you won't. And somebody my mom on the wall neck surgery, they had to cut her neck open.
Oh my goodness, they had to be cautious when they did that, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
My sister
Okay.
and she sewed it up.
Okay. All right, we're going to start our story now. So has everyone got their listening ears on? And you're sitting in your spot? We're ready to go? We're going, this is a fable, so we're going to listen for what the lesson is that we're learning. Okay? Okay. The city mouse and the country mouse. There once was a happy little country mouse who lived in a big wheat field. In the summer, she feasted on grains of wheat or on bits of bread from the farmers' lunch boxes. When the weather grew cold, she moved into the farmhouse and picked bits of cake and bread and cheese, which the cook dropped on the kitchen floor.
Mrs. Dowdy?
These she stored away in her little mouse hole in the attic until she had a good supply laid in for the winter. So does she have a pretty good life, this little country mouse?
Yeah.
She had lots of food and good food. Okay, now one day during the winter, the little country mouse's cousin, a city mouse, came to visit her. When they had chatted for a while, the little country mouse took her visitor to see her attic pantry. Okay, what's up in her attic? What does she put up there? Okay, it's a pantry. What does she put in the pantry?
Food.
Food. All the food she collected, right? For the winter. So she went to go show her cousin her attic pantry with all of her food. Proudly, she showed her the mound of cheese bits, the heaps of bread and cake crumbs, and the neat piles of nuts and dried peas. So was she proud of all the food she collected?
Yeah.
She was pretty excited. But when the city mouse had eaten a hearty dinner, she wiped her whiskers daintily and said, "You poor thing. So this is the way you live on leftovers dried up in the attic? Come with me to the city and I will show you a real feast. So what did her cousin think about her food?
It was delicious.
Did she think it was delicious? Because she said, you poor thing. You're living on dried food that you collected. Then she said, come to the city and I'll show you a real feast. So did she think the food in the city was better than the food in the country? The city mouse?
No. Yeah, because she collected old food and made she get sick.
Yeah, she's saying, you have to collect this old food, but I'll show you a really good feast in the city. So let's see what happens.
Feast.
The country mouse immediately felt rather ashamed of her simple home. So she quietly went along with the city mouse to visit her. The city mouse led the way into a huge brick house, up a great staircase, and into a dining room. The rich people who lived in the big house in the city with the city mouse were just having dinner. So the two little mice hid behind the door. Keep very still, said the city mouse. When they leave the table, we can have all the food that is left. So was the food going to be dried up and old, or was it going to be fresh? Fresh. Okay. The eyes of the little country mouse grew big and round at that, for she had never seen so much food in her whole busy life. Sit down, please. So she sat very still until, with the scuffling of feet and scraping of chairs, the big people left the table. Come on, squeaked the little mouse, or the city mouse. Peeking cautiously, so what's cautiously?
It won't slip.
Careful. Peeking cautiously to the right and left, she led the way across the room, up onto a chair, and from the chair onto the table, with the country mouse scampering along behind her. The country mouse took a long look around her at the table, still crowded with good things, and sighed a deep, happy sigh. This is wonderful, she said, taking a big bite out of a beautiful cheese. You live just like a prince. She had scarcely finished squeaking then, with a snarl, a cat pounced up on the table. After her came the cook, shouting and waving a big spoon, and into the room bounded two dogs barking fiercely, and there was a terrible row. In the midst of it, the two mice skittered down the floor and dodged into a handy hole. So what happened when they got up on the table after the big people left? A cat came. Who else came?
And a dog.
A dog. There were two dogs that came. What else? Who else came? The cook came. And what were they doing? Were they scaring them off? They were hollering at them, chasing them, and they had to run and hide in a hole, right? Okay. Okay, sit back down. You're doing good. Sit on your spot. Okay. We'll wait until all is quiet again and go back for some more, whispered the city mouse. But her country cousin shook her head firmly. No way. We'll wait until it's quiet again, and then I'll go home as fast as I can. You're welcome to all the fine food you can get, my friend. Okay, shh. As for me, I prefer my dry crust in my peaceful attic. Okay, so after they were in the hole, the city mouse said, well, we'll just wait a little bit later and then we'll go back out there. And what did the country mouse say?
No.
No. Where was she going to go when it got quiet?
Home.
She is going home to her peaceful attic with her crusty bread.
Are we done?
And she was perfectly happy.
Are we done with the story?
We are. That's the end of the story.
I knew that was good. Well, what about all these pages?
Those are some more stories. Okay, sit down, Riley. Okay. Okay, so what could you picture in your mind them In the country, could you picture the country?
Yeah.
Because we see fields of wheat and hay and all kinds of fields around here, huh? And can you picture them in the city?
Yes.
Okay, in your mind?
This a chapter.
Okay, it's just a book of stories. Okay, what lesson was the author trying to teach us? Or the storyteller?
All kinds of cities.
What lesson did he want you to learn?
Not to sneak into restaurants and eat other people's food.
Not to sneak into restaurants and eat other people's food because they'll come hollering at you, huh? But what about, what else? Sienna?
No sneaking somewhere.
No
No sneaking in somebody's store.
Okay, don't sneak into somebody's store.
And still stuff.
What about, so the country mouse, before she went to the city and before her cousin came, was she pretty happy in the country? Why was she happy?
Because she was a country mouse.
When she's in the country, before it got cold, what would she do out in the fields?
Like food.
She would get food, she would have wheat seeds and all that. And then once it got cold, did she have somewhere to live still?
Yeah.
And did she still have food?
Yeah.
Did anyone bother her?
Yeah.
No one bothered her. Okay. And then her cousin came and said, "Ooh, you should come to the city. I have fresh food and everything." Okay. And what did, but when she went to go get her food, did they have to be sneaky? And they got chased?
Yeah.
And they got scared?
Yeah.
So what did,
And go to the dirty hole.
yes, they had to go in a hole. But when the country mouse first got up on the table and she saw all the fresh food, did she think, "Oh man, this is a good life"? But soon enough, here came the cook and the cat and the dogs chasing them. And then she realized, I had a pretty happy life back in the country, huh? So sometimes when we think things are better somewhere else or something else is better, really what we have already is really good. So we need to appreciate it. Okay?
Say it.
Okay, we're going to get ready to go to our different groups, okay? Okay, so sit right here and then we'll figure out what we're doing.
I don't want my name going.